The Emperor of Austria could order anything. And what he kept asking for was a torn, caramelized pancake. Not a roast, not a banquet dish, a pancake, shredded by hand. For decades, it became the most famous dessert at the Habsburg court. Copied across Vienna, eaten across Central Europe. But the story of how it got there, that part never made it onto the menu. So how does a kitchen mistake become the signature dish of an empire? Franz Joseph I is Emperor of Austria. His wife, Elisabeth, Sisi, is one of the most watched women in Europe. One evening, a pancake is prepared for her. It tears in the pan. The cook panics. The dish arrives at the table in pieces. Franz Joseph looks at it, tastes it, and reportedly says, "What has this poor man made? Give it to me." He finishes it and asks for it again. Nobody can prove that story is true, but it stuck. Because it sounds exactly like something an emperor would do. And it tells you everything about what Kaiserschmarrn actually is. A dish that looks like a mistake and tastes like a decision. Kaiser meaning emperor, Schmarrn meaning mess or nonsense. A thick, edgy batter, beaten until light, cooked in butter. Then torn apart in the pan, caramelized until the edges go golden, dusted with powdered sugar. Served with plum compote or applesauce. No two pieces are the same size. That is the point. Here is what makes that strange. Franz Joseph was famous for eating almost nothing. He would finish his plate, and the moment he did, every dish on the table was removed. Guests at the Imperial table regularly went hungry. This was a man who treated food as a duty, not a pleasure. And yet, a torn-up pancake was the one thing he kept coming back for. Because the dish was not invented for him. Schmarrn was an everyday word in Austrian and Bavarian dialect. Something simple, something humble. A farmhouse pancake, torn apart and fried in whatever fat was available. Versions of it appear across the Alps long before it ever reached the royal kitchen. What the court did was dress it up. More eggs, more butter, more sugar, and an emperor's name on top. Which means the most famous dessert at the Habsburg court was, at its heart, peasant food. Dressed up and renamed. And the name itself is the strangest part. Kaiserschmarrn, the emperor's mess. An imperial kitchen that controlled every detail of royal life, chose to call its signature dish a mess. Some say it was irony, a way of saying even the emperor eats nonsense sometimes. Others think it was deliberate, a performance of humility from one of the most powerful courts in Europe. Either way, an emperor lent his name to a torn-up pancake, and the pancake won. After Franz Joseph made it famous, or was said to, it spread, from the capital to the countryside, from restaurant menus to home kitchens. Every region across the empire made its own version. Some added raisins soaked in rum, some used more milk, some less sugar. The dish kept changing, the name never did. Today, it's everywhere. Restaurants, ski lodges, family kitchens. It crossed borders without a passport. And that is the thing about Kaiserschmarrn. Too sweet to be a main course, too filling to be a light dessert. It arrives looking like an accident and tastes completely on purpose. A farmhouse recipe that became royal. A royal dish that stayed humble. A name that called itself a mess and meant it as a compliment. That gap between how it looks and how it tastes, is probably why it outlasted hundreds of more complicated royal recipes. You can teach someone to make the perfect soufflé, but a torn pancake that still tastes this good? That takes something else. Follow the history, not just the recipe. More dishes are waiting.